You heard this before, probably multiple times. We are in the seller's market. There's so many buyers, there's simply not enough home for sale. There's bidding war, multiple offer. So when are we gonna see more listing, more homes come on the market? Is the real estate market ever gonna return to normal? Let's look at the latest number and see what experts think. Coming up. Hi, this is Regina Chen. I'm the local real estate agent right here in Irvine, California. Today we're going to talk about, is there going to be more listing coming to the market soon? If there are, when we should expect them? All right, like I mentioned, that on the media, there's article talking about asking the question, will real estate ever be normal again? Take a look, what is normal like? Because right now, this year and last year, during pandemic, the real estate housing market is nothing but normal. But let's just remind ourselves, refresh our memory. What does a normal year, a normal housing seasonality look like? So historically, in the second quarter, which is April, May, June, that's the spring, summer market, we start to see that more home coming on the market. But for this year, it's not the case. Based on the latest survey, we see that a lot of sellers are prepared or already somewhat in the process prepping their home for sale in this winter, which is January, February, March. There's some interesting information from NAR, National Association of Realtors, that I want to share with you. It says home sellers have historically moved when something in their lives changed. A new baby, they're getting married, divorced, or they got a new job. The pandemic has impacted everyone, and for many, this become an impetus to sell and make a whole housing trade. Traditionally, the life events drive the real estate decision making, having a baby, like we talked about previously, getting a job and all that. But during pandemic, it's become a new factor, new driving force. A lot of people start to rethink, what does their home mean to them? Maybe pre-pandemic, living downtown in a condo, make their commute short, they have more downtime after they work. That was their dream home. But after pandemic, people start to rethink, what does home means? And they change their priority, what's important for them. Some people want more space, some people want to move to more in the nature, more outdoor space. Some people want to move closer to the family. Some people decided that, hey, life is short, there's so much uncertainty. I always want to move to the beach or the mountains. So it's kind of shake up how people make their housing decision, and also change the timeline of their real estate decision as well. Let's continue with this report. The pandemic likely spurred occupants to shorten their home stay, as tenure in the home decreased to 8 years from 10, according to the report. This is the largest single-year change in home tenure since the NAR began collecting such data. Let's lay out the data visually so you can have a better picture of what's going on. So from this chart, between 1985 through 2008, the average home tenure was 6 years. And after that, between 2009 till up till 2010, the average tenure go up to 9.2 years. You can see there are a couple years, like even above 9.2, they're like 10 years over there. There's a lot of factor drive up the average tenure. One thing is that during the housing crisis, people just literally doesn't have that option to sell and move. And during pandemic time, as the price continue to grow, people tend to have more equity. And right off the bat, at the beginning, the outbreak of the pandemic, people doesn't know how to deal with this unforeseen situation. And not until recently, once the vaccination are more available and when people are locked in for like a good almost 2 years to think about what home really means. Like we're talking about, the pandemic become like a new factor, kind of a push people to examine what they're looking for for home and what home really means. We started to think that people think that for one, they do have that equity. The price is definitely helping favorable to seller, enable them to finally decide this probably is the time for them to make the move. And in the 2021, like we talked about, that's the average tenure dropped from average 9.2 down to 8 years. You see there's a huge drop. That's what we previously mentioned. That's the largest change in single years since NAR has conducted this report. And Realtor.com also have some interesting insight to share in this regard. The pandemic has delayed plans for many Americans, and homeowners looking to move on the next stage of life are no exception. Recent survey data suggests that the majority of prospective sellers are actively preparing to enter the market this winter. Like we talk about historically, people prepare to do it, seller prepare to sell their home in spring market. And this year, we're going to see there more homes. The traditional spring market might start to show up. The more listing going to show up in this winter, which is from January through March. And here is more quantitative data to support, to back up what Realtor.com survey summary, what we just looked at. So majority of sellers entering this market in the next year that plan to list in the next year. So here we're looking at more quantitative measure to back up what we just saw previously. Majority of sellers entering this market in the next year, they're planning to list in the next 6 months. And 65% of them have just listed. That's 90% out of that 65%, or plan to list this winter. And 93% of them have already taken steps toward listing their home, including working with an agent. That those already working with an agent accounted for 28%. And 36% of them have researched the value of their home and others in their neighborhood, as well as started making repairs or decluttering. Next, we just want to share with you what are the reasons of those upcoming sellers decided to make the move right now. So for those homeowners, sellers prepared to sell in this winter, 33%, they have realized they want different home features after spending more time at home during pandemic. And 37% says their home no longer meets their family needs. 32% want to move closer to friends and family. 23% are looking for a home office. I just want to share with my local Irvine observation. It's the number we're sharing. The reason why people are selling are definitely in line what I see actually in market. For example, like I mentioned over there, like their family want to trade up with all the kids. A lot of parents are working from home. They need more space to have an office. And for the longest time before school is open, a lot of kids are doing the online lesson. So the online course. So everybody wants to have extra room, extra space for that purpose. And a lot of times that the family trying to bring the senior, like grandparents to, so make it easier to take care of them. That's another reason to have extra room. And in the thick of the lockdown, even in Irvine, we have all those nice HOA amenity. Like even we see that pretty often, even in my HOA for a while, they just yellow tape the playground, swimming pool is not open. So people realize, hey, I want something that's a private outdoor space. I need a bigger yard. That's another important feature a lot of buyers during pandemic times are looking for. And there are different family type or life stage. I saw couples when their kids already out of high school, they no longer need to live in Irvine. So they want to take advantage of those equity and move somewhere they always want for themselves. Like I have clients who move to a less there. Some of them move from the tri-level condo, because before they need the address to zone in for the good school, so they're willing to, even it's more stairs, at least it's in a good school district, so they're willing to do at that time. It makes sense for them. But now kids are older, they want less stairs, and they won't have, like I said, the more yard space. They want to do some gardening, just planning for down the road for their retirement. Some of them even move to adjacent city like Tustin and Lake Forest. That way you will get because the Irvine definitely is like a prime city for real estate. If you are like getting to like a retirement stage, I help clients, they move to cities right by Irvine. So you don't have, it's not such a huge adjustment or disruption to their lifestyle. They're still close to all those convenience, like the grocery, the park, or the doctor they used to go to, but they get to get more space, or the home setup is more geared toward just the parents or the retired couple. They don't have to worry about the kids' lifestyle, kids' activity. So I definitely see a lot of family making decisions that become with the pandemic overlay with the life stage, that makes sense to adjust to, to meeting their updated, different housing needs during the pandemic time. So this chart we're looking at just to show that historically, every year the monthly facing in terms of the monthly listing count. So you can see on the top, the 3 lines, that's the 2017, 18, 19. It's pretty consistent in terms of seasonality, and listings actually up there much higher. And in the 2020, that's when we talk about how pandemic changed people's decision or expectation, needs, requirement for homes, and buyers are flooding in to buy home. That's why you see the orange line is definitely something like definitely different, normal, different from what we're used to. And this year, the green line, 2021, we see the listing trying to coming back up, hopefully to catch up to help us get back to the normal trending. So based on all the survey, the report we're hearing, we're expecting in this winter, November, December, all the way through January, February, March time, probably in the rest of the year will be a kind of a stagnant plateau. And then when it gets to January, we'll hopefully start to picking up. So if you're a buyer, just wanted to let you know that there is hope. We do see that based on in the market, talking to those homeowner potential sellers, there are more sellers that are ready to put home on the market. To all the buyers, you still need to make sure you are prepared, ready to go, because we know that there are still a big pool of buyers just like waiting and watching just like you. So you want to make sure understand that your pre-approval letter is ready, and always keep track, keep a close contact with your lender. Understand that, make sure you're monitoring the latest rate, and what does that mean to you, translate into how much loan amount you can buy for, the home you can buy for, what does that mean for your monthly payment. So when the right home on the market, you are ready to pull the trigger and make the move. Even though there will be more listing coming on the market, they'll just lessen a little bit the pressure on this tight inventory, but it will still be a seller's market. And as for seller or homeowner, you are potentially thinking whether you should sell or when is the best time to sell. I think the key message for you is that the coming month, the coming year is different. The winter time will be the new spring. Don't wait till March, April to get on the market, because we already see that it's in the pipeline. More home coming on the market between January through March. I hope you find this video helpful. I will continue to share the latest data, stats, expert opinion to tell you what's going on in our market and what's coming up next. And like I say that there's no one size fits all. Every seller, buyer is different. Their family situation, life stage is different. There's a lot of things to consider, to take into consideration. So feel free to give me a call, send me a text or an email. Let's talk about what's your situation, what you're thinking. I'm sure I will have a lot of real-time case study to share with you. That way we can brainstorm or just learn from other family situations so we can customize a strategy, a plan that best suit you and your family's needs. I'll talk to you later.